Hey, welcome into another edition of the Talking Busch podcast, a special playoff preview edition of the Talking Busch podcast, special weekend edition of the Talking Busch podcast. Matt Train, how was your Saturday?
First ever Saturday, pretty good. First ever Saturday night show, and my goodness, it's beautiful here. So we're just enjoying that.
Yeah, Matt,
despite the fact that we will not be participating in the playoffs tomorrow.
Speak for yourself. Oh wait, I'm in the playoffs, but I'm not participating. Oh, it feels so good. Woo!
That is true. None of us will be participating in the playoffs this weekend. John Thompson, how are you doing on this lovely Saturday? Heard you put some Christmas decorations up.
Yeah, doing well. Freaking gonna be paying for that in the morning because I am definitely not 25 anymore. So put some Christmas lights up today. Harper was pretty thrilled. I got a couple of. I went a little big this year. Got a couple of blow ups. So I got an Olaf and a Princess Poppy, and she karate chopped Olaf in the throat, and she gave Poppy a hug. So decent results so far. But yeah, it's been a good Saturday so far, and I'm just to top it off, we're doing a Talking Busch. So I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah, love that. So do you do the whole shebang up on the ladder and everything?
Oh yeah. Yep. We got the icicle lights. We got the Christmas tree. We've got the presents. We got some blinky lights. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff. So I'll have to tweet out a picture on the Busch League at Busch League MN on Twitter. I'll tweet out a picture so everybody can see my work. And We're going to keep building on it. I'm slowly going to become Clark Griswold. Slowly. Just every year, I just keep adding little pieces here and there. Like I said, this year we added the 2 blow-up outside ornaments, and then we just keep finding stuff and just adding to it. So
those are in addition to your inside blow-ups.
None of your damn business on that. Stay out of my personal life.
Thanks, Olaf.
So yeah,
let me know when you get the radio frequency with the synced up holiday tunes on the radio.
Ooh, yeah. I've thought of that because I think you can put some pretty cool tunes to some of your lights. I just don't have enough yet, I think, to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we got 2 maple trees out front. Eventually, I'm sure I'll have to wrap those. I think once I get that done and then get some other little yard ornaments out there, I think that'll be the time to get the synchronization going. And I think it'll be pretty sweet, actually.
Nice.
People can drive by, flash me. I mean, whatever they got to do,
whatever they feel emboldened.
Yeah, whatever, if they think it's cool,
throw some money at me,
show some teas. I don't know, just whatever they got to do. So, yeah, no, it was good. It's good. How are you guys this weekend going? What's going down in North Carolina?
Yeah, not too much.
Flair country.
Yeah, no Wake Forest game today. We had our second game in a row canceled due to COVID. So we're back next week. So yeah, didn't do a whole lot today. Going out taking the dog out tomorrow to chase some quails. So
you
can do that.
I don't even know what the fuck a quail looks like.
I'll tweet out a picture tomorrow.
Good.
So but yeah, so this episode is going to be mostly Busch League focused, but wanted to get your guys' takes on the Mullets versus Mormons game tonight. Have you guys been following that at all?
I have not.
Coastal
BYU,
Carolina versus BYU. So
yeah,
they made T-shirts Mullets versus Mormons.
Nice.
So they're copying the Catholics versus convicts concept.
Oh yeah. 2 undefeateds. It's 2.5 minutes left in the game. Coastal Carolina is up 22-17. So
nice.
Yeah, they're kind of a fun little team. They I think pretty recently went up to Division I or the bowl series. So
those are both top 20 ranked teams. BYU's
yep. Number 13 BYU versus number 18 Coastal Carolina.
Nice.
I saw somebody tweeted I thought was a good comparison that Coastal Carolina gives them a lot of Dunk City, Florida, the Florida Gulf Coast vibes this year. So
sure.
But yeah.
Are you watching? You're watching it right now, Phil?
No, I just got ESPN up on my computer here. So
Nice.
Less than a minute left, but nice win for the Hawkeyes today. They're gaining some steam for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think I said this earlier in the year on this podcast. Like, this was just a bad year for them to have to dive right into league play.
I know they really pissed that Purdue game down their leg. And think about it, they were ahead in the Northwestern game.
Yeah, they lost
that
that game by a point. So
yeah,
you know, I think they got a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah, we definitely could be playing Ohio State, but we would not be beating Ohio State. But it would still be fun. But yeah, if they could just get their quarterback situation, I think a little more buttoned up, I think they'd be even tougher than they are right now.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
You know, truth be told, so I always want a Big Ten team represented in the playoffs. That's, you know, even if it's Ohio State, I'm not an Ohio State fan, of course, but you know, to be honest, this year I am kind of hoping that a Big Ten team doesn't make it into the playoffs. I don't know that the way that they handled all the COVID situations that they really deserve to get a team into the playoffs. They're gonna, you know, Ohio State's gonna have 7 wins, and is that more deserving than a 10-win Cincinnati team?
Yeah.
So
it's kind of interesting. I know everything kind of got thrown together. It would have been interesting if they would have, like the NFL, expanded the playoffs a little bit, just considering some teams that are going to get screwed, some that aren't. You know, obviously it seems like Cincinnati should get in because they played more games. But how can you not have Ohio State in there? I mean, they're just crushing kids. I mean, they deserve to be in there.
Yeah, they probably are one of the. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking about the best teams, they're certainly one of the best teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it'd be fun to see Cincinnati try to give it a go. Just that's why they play the games. Who knows? You know, 9 out of 10 times they probably lose to Ohio State, but maybe that one time they get them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we shall see. You know, it's always every year. I think every year, about 2 weeks out from the playoffs starting, everybody thinks they know exactly who's going to be in it, and then somebody loses.
You know, just like, you know, the Gophers.
Why the University of Minnesota? Why not?
Why not?
Well, their season's shit, and they're pretty much fucked. So just move on to basketball.
It crashed and burned. Because I've been hearing a lot of, Minnesota sports fans. This is why we can't have nice things type of discussion, but. I don't know. The Gopher football program has been so far gone for so long that I still have yes, they suck this year, way worse than what everybody expected that they were. I mean, they're just terrible. But still, last year was totally I'm not even mad about this year. I'm still happy about last year. You know what I mean? Just because
I feel like you've been bottling this up, and then Dave came on, and you kind of bottled it up a little more, and then now it's just us three. There's no Gopher fans. You're just unleashing the fury right now.
I'm not. That's the thing, though. They suck. They definitely suck. I don't know what the hell the deal is with Tanner Morgan.
Yeah,
that's probably the biggest surprise. The offense the wheels totally came off the offense. I know they're missing players, but you're supposed to have an All-American quarterback, a first-round draft pick at wide receiver, and the best running back in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Do you think that was wrong for Bateman to leave again, or do you think that was the good call? I guess I don't really care that he left again. I mean, he abandoned his teammates, but he's got to look out for himself too. I mean, if you're going to be a first round pick, you've got to do what's best for you no matter what.
Yeah, I can't I don't know. I can't fault him too much considering the amount of money that he's got on the table.
I know he's not even guaranteed a first. I just can't believe some people are on Twitter. He's abandoning his team. You know, why didn't he just stay away in the first place or whatever they've been saying? It's just just let the dude do his deal. Your season's done. He's not. Rashad Bateman isn't going to save your season.
No, and it's especially with this season, it's every game you play is just bonus anyway, right? Yeah. So it's not even I think,
If they're going to save their season, they need Winfield and Johnson to somehow find eligibility and come back, because that's the only way they're getting any W's for the rest of the year.
Yeah. That's all it took for the Hawkeyes. They just had to get a little bit confident by playing a futile Gopher squad, and now they're just rolling.
Yeah.
Although it hurts a little bit that Northwestern got beat. That makes the loss to Northwestern look a little worse. But
I just sorry, Phil. I actually want your guys' opinion on this after I guess Phil will say what you're gonna say, and then I want your guys'
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think that Iowa quarterback might be pretty darn good.
He is a cannon. I will give him that. He
Pretty
has
excited
a
about this
rocket.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just needs to settle down.
Well, and again, no off season, right into the fire.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this team next year.
Yeah. Because everybody pretty much comes back except for I think maybe Nixon.
Yeah.
He might go to the draft, but as much as I love seeing the Gophers lose, there's nothing that brings me more joy than watching Iowa beat Nebraska. What do you think about Clapgate?
I am in the dark on this one, John.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Nebraska offense, shotgun, right? A lot of college offenses, instead of doing a hard count, clap.
Yep.
Ball snaps. Apparently Scott Frost was getting on the officials that the clapping was messing up their snap count. Then in his press conference, he said that, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically he was saying that it was kind of garbage that Iowa was allowed to clap while they were on offense because it was throwing off their snap count. Kirk, being Kirk, basically did what he did with PJ, which is we figure we take Floyd and leave the timeouts here. He basically told Scott Frost, what are we going to do? Turn this game into golf? Is this going to be tennis? Like, I can't clap on the sideline. What the hell are you? What's your problem? And I've seen on Twitter a couple of times people saying, Iowa players are clapping during the cadence. That's not their fault that their center is snapping it 2 feet over Martinez's head or down by his feet. That's not their fault. So I'm so tired of Scott Frost and his whining and his just.
I tell you what, Scott Frost has got to be feeling pretty. He's got to be feeling pretty nervous, I think, right? Because he got hired in, like everybody was all excited about that. He's going to be like the savior of Nebraska football, and it has certainly not gone his way. So
for sure.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to deflect any sort of blame that he can from yet another lackluster season.
Petty shit like that though only makes it look worse.
Yeah, what are you hearing down there in Sioux Falls? I'm sure that's big red territory.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, there hasn't been like a lot of the local sports radio is not programming anymore, so we just get Fox Sports North now. Or not Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot less Nebraska talk than I had before. But even last year, I mean, the situation wasn't different last year, and
right.
It's I don't know. It's just there's an awful lot of talk about the 80s. People love to talk about the 80s.
Yeah, it's just,
but
if you're a Nebraska fan right now, I mean, just try to just get through the season.
Yeah, whatever disappointment that the Gopher fan base is feeling this year, it's nothing compared to the overall status of the Nebraska program compared to what it once was.
Yep. I would concur, but I love watching. Nothing better on a Black Friday than watching the Hawkeyes win their 6th straight Nebraska-Iowa matchup. It was so delicious.
And another disclaimer here, non-Busch League announcement before we get into the Busch League. Everybody make sure they tune in on Tuesday night, Iowa versus North Carolina on the hard court. So your number 3 Hawkeyes against your number 14 North Carolina Tar Heels. So
this is basketball?
Basketball. Oh yeah.
Men's basketball?
Yeah. Iowa's number 3 in the nation. And
really?
Yes, the conspiracy is they canceled the Gonzaga-Baylor game just to hold Iowa back from being number 1 because they are fucking rolling right now.
Iowa is sick nasty at basketball this year. Luke Garza is best player in the country, big man.
Yeah.
It is tasty. This is the recipe for a deep tournament run.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
then probably the tournament will get canceled this year or something.
Yeah. I mean, Luca Garza wakes up.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, he's a bad mofo right now. I mean, I think I saw in 3 games he's shooting over 70%. And he's got like over 100 points already in 3 games. I mean, he's just a beast.
He's like triple-double every game.
Yeah, and he finished last year, actually. He got runner-up for play of the year behind that Toppin from Dayton. So, and he's a junior. Yeah.
God, I just can't even hardly remember basketball last year. I do not remember Iowa being any good at all.
Well, there was no tournament last year.
Right.
I know, because I was supposed to go in Omaha. I was going to the first round, and that got canceled. Got my money back, thankfully. But
they were starting to really pick up steam towards the end of the year. What were they ranked?
Yeah, they ended up. You're right, John. I mean, I was very excited about them this time last year too, and then they started pretty mediocre. So I kind of wrote them off, and then toward the end of the year, they really started picking up some pretty good wins, and that's when Garza started playing really, really good and started getting to be. But then, of course, the season just kind of fizzled out. So.
It was
they're on a lot of people's radars this year, though.
Yeah, for sure. And then they end up, Matt, I don't know if you knew this, but in next week, Phil, is it the 12th? They play Gonzaga. So number 1 versus so if you're Gonzaga, you're going against Baylor, number 2, and then a week later.
I think that's on a neutral court too. Isn't
exactly.
it in South Dakota?
Yes.
Or North Dakota? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And then they got to go play Iowa, which is number 3. So Gonzaga has to go through an NCAA final basically 2 weeks in a row.
All right.
And it's gonna be a little fun college basketball league. It's gonna be awesome. It's good to be a Hawkeye. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, all right. Enough Iowa.
Must see TV. Yep. All right. Let's jump into the Busch League here. So
thank you.
First thing I want to do, I want to go through.
Full story.
I can only take so much.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
enough.
Well, we don't get to do this.
This is what happens when you get outnumbered, right? So
I'm sure everybody's
you guys
throwing
got
up.
you got your 15 minutes.
Our viewership's at an all-time low, I'm sure, at the moment. But me and John are having a blast. So
maybe we should just have an Iowa podcast, Bill.
Yeah, we'll have like a podcast network where we have all these different shows.
Yes,
perfect.
yes, where we can talk about corn-fed women and Hawkeye basketball and all sorts of good stuff.
All right, so let's go through the teams that are missing the playoffs here, and we're going to start at the bottom. Your breast implants, managed by Alyssa Grieve, co-managed by Tim Grieve. 4-8 on the season. 3rd out of 3 in the Maverick League. So as we go through these teams that are missing the playoffs, let's just kind of talk about what do we think kind of sank these guys this season. So what sank the breast implants this year?
Well,
it's not a complicated story with breast implants.
Excuse me?
You lose McCaffrey for the entire season. You lose Saquon Barkley for the entire season, both the 3rd week of the season. It's going to be an uphill battle.
Spend all your money on 3 players. 3 players is what you spend all the money on.
So I mean, those guys were 40 some bucks each. I think it was about $90 on the 2 of them.
Yeah. It was tough. It was definitely tough that McCaffrey never came back. I don't think that was the expectation when he went out. Who ended up getting John, do you have Mike Davis? Who ended up
I do.
Yeah. So do you remember what you bid on him?
$11. No, $15.
Okay. So I mean that's
a lot. I mean
that's a pretty healthy portion of your budget, and that paid off for you really well. I think if Grieve had it all over to do again, he probably would have gone out there and tried to get Mike Davis. Then maybe his season would have been a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to Grieve though. If you look on, he had 27 roster moves this season, which was the most in the league. He was out there hustling. He was doing what he could. But yeah, again, you lose 90% of your draft budget. You're going to be last place. And if you're not going to be the champion, you might as well be biblically bad, right? And that's kind of what he was this year.
That sucked.
If you ain't first, you're last. Christian McCaffrey, $48. Saquon Barkley, $42. $90.
Oh my God.
100. 3
Yeah.
or whatever.
In my opinion, that sucked.
Which is like that. You can't spend more than that on 2 players, can you? I mean, that's
No.
got to be about it, right?
So it went 48 for McCaffrey, 42 for Barkley, and the next closest was 36 for Zeke and Henry. Both went for 36. So I mean, that's the most you could have possibly spent by a fair margin.
Yep. So it was a bold strategy, and it did not pay off.
Hasn't paid off in the last 5 years. I don't know why he doesn't change it up. I really think we should invite Alyssa to these things. She might be able to smack some sense into her.
She couldn't hurt.
She'd probably walk in and go,
Hey, what you gonna do, Macho Man?
Oh, I'd probably pay to see that.
Yeah.
I'd pay top dollar for that. Can't
He
pay
did.
for that. See what that kind of action cotton.
He did get a good free agency find in Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
If this was a keeper league, you'd have some good options here, but it's not. So on to next year for breast implants. So let's move on to the next team, which is the Night Train Reign, hosted by the Commissioner Emeritus Matt Train. Matt, what sank your season this year?
Probably one of the biggest things that hurt me was the Fournette getting cut. I definitely believe that Robinson's season would be Fournette's season if Fournette was there.
Oh, that's right. Because you drafted Leonard Fournette as that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so I had Fournette, Mixon.
So think about having Mixon and James Robinson basically as your running backs, right? And then you wouldn't have traded for Jonathan Taylor, and you would have had Tyler Lockett as your wide receiver.
Tyler Lockett and Ridley.
Yep.
I'd have been struggling at quarterback because I went Wentz and Cam Newton, which that did not work out at all.
Wentz, man.
Yeah, and Andrews was not as good. I mean, that the offense in Baltimore is just not nearly what it was last year. So he was fine. He is worth what I pay. I paid $3 or $4 for him, so it's not like it was a bad deal. But I thought I had a better find there than what I actually got. And then Le'Veon Bell was another running back that I had drafted that was on a bad team, but was a bell cow guy at the beginning of the season that went out. So. And then if you remember, I had a slug of RB2, like RB2 to RB3 type guys. I had 4 or 5 of them. Like I just loaded up on running backs. And Ingram was another one of those guys. And Ingram just did absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
the year before he had almost double-digit touchdowns. So.
He was top 10 running back last year. Yep. Yeah, he was a total touchdown magnet. But I hit on wide receivers about as good as you possibly could. I just whiffed on. I mean, the running back situation just could not have hardly went worse.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, especially at the start of the season, there, Calvin Ridley. I mean, holy crap! But and still, I mean, he's position ranked number 11 in the league. And of course, Tyler Lockett was good on your team. Yeah, that Jonathan Taylor trade didn't work out for you, but at that point, what's the difference, right? So
it wouldn't have made a whole lot of difference.
Yeah. DJ Moore kind of wasn't what.
For you.
Yeah.
DJ Moore has kind of turned it on now, but he was so disappointing early. It's like you kind of couldn't get your team in sync at the same time, right? So like Calvin Ridley's fallen off a little bit here of late, when DJ Moore started to pick it up, and it's just you just kind of didn't have everybody clicking at the same time. So
I was pretty disappointed in DJ Moore. I thought he was going to be really good this year. I thought they had better quarterback play and a better team overall, and he's done worse than last year.
I love your current starting wide receivers as Marvin Jones Jr. and Des Bryant. Des DMFB.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some bye weeks, and it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's slide it up the list, and we are up to the Big Hoss, who is 4-8
By the
as
University
well.
of Minnesota. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Big Hoss 4-8, third place in the Warrior League, the league that he shares with John and myself. You know, we've talked about this team. Lots of talent on the team. What happened? What happened here with this roster?
Too slow to make moves at quarterback when he had assets at quarterback, an abundance of assets at quarterback. Also moved the wrong one. Yeah. And also, you know, just lack of effort.
I'm
Probably.
gonna love up on Dave a little bit. All right. It's just Dave being Dave. He's got stuff. He does his own thing. He goes bowling. He's fixing up tailgate one. He's taking hot chicks on dates. All right. I mean, he's doing Dave things, and he just this is a camaraderie thing. He just does this so we're all together, which is awesome. And yeah, it's just Dave being Dave. How many times have we seen him have good teams and terrible teams, and he's basically managed it the same exact way every year? It really hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's right. This is pretty much textbook Dave, and he's one of the founding members of the league. Been in the league since 2003. Yep. So this is his 18th year. He's been to the playoffs twice in 18 years. And
I'm just happy he's around.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, when you draft a team, I mean, he's got a really solid lineup here. But when your quarterback is Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson's rank at quarterback is 11th, you know that's going to cause you some trouble. You know, and kudos to him for moving a quarterback, which he doesn't always do. And he did, and he got some really good assets for that. And I'm not saying I would have made the other choice. I mean, I think it's hard to trade Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson now has ended up 11th, and Kyler Murray, of course, is having a breakout season. So
yeah, hindsight's 20/20. He could have traded Lamar Jackson, and the opposite could have happened.
Well, I mean, you look at this roster with think about the roster that he has with Lamar Jackson of last year. Okay, so you think about him having last year's Lamar Jackson, and then James Conner, Ronald Jones, Juju Smith-Schuster, Keenan Allen, Rob Gronkowski. Like, that's a pretty good lineup there.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So.
It's one of the better teams that Dave's had.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really was. I think he had fun having a talented team, actually.
Yeah.
You know, the balls on that guy to not set his lineup really until he knew he needed to. Like the night he played through, he didn't change a thing. He didn't have to. And I don't think when he played you, Phil, he didn't change it till the last minute because he had a chance to beat you.
That guy needs an intern.
Yeah.
Let's just put it out.
He needs an Alyssa. He needs an Alyssa to run his team for him do fun things for him. Like, I guess we won't go into that sort of stuff on the old podcast, but yeah.
All right, up to ninth ranked team. That would be the Peppy Kids, second out of 3 in the Warrior League, 5-7.
In my opinion, that sucked.
5-7 on the season. I gotta tell you, this was a disappointing one for me. Really liked the team as the season was starting.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm sure you did. So I've spent some time reflecting on what went wrong here. And here's what went wrong. So my number one wide receiver, the guy I spent the most money at wide receiver on, Chris Godwin, finished in 37th at the position of wide receiver. My running backs, Miles Sanders and Nick Chubb, 26th and 18th. So those were the guys I spent my money on, and they didn't pan out. Now, Chris Godwin missed plenty of time from injury. Miles Sanders missed plenty of time from injury. Nick Chubb missed plenty of time from injury. I don't know. I mean, I like the team as it is now when everybody's healthy. I just bet on the wrong horses this year.
Cool story, asshole.
Yeah. And then, you throw in that, again, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but, my strategy has typically been to punted at QB, and my QB sucks this year. I'm Matt Ryan. Last year I punted at QB, and I ended up with Lamar Jackson, and it's a totally different story.
Yeah. You could have Carson Wentz.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Yeah. Full disclosure, he was another one I was targeting. So if that gives you any insight as to my draft strategy, then I guess I deserve to be where I am.
I have to say, like, thinking back to the draft and talking about guys that we went after and stuff, I remember now, because I do a lot of draft analysis and stuff like that for the website, and it's amazing how good our league is at adapting to trends. Like, we're really good at it. Like, I mean, and you tend to see a few of the better teams. Like, you can't do the same thing every year in this league. You just absolutely cannot, because the better teams are really good at pivoting, and finding value. And
and I was thinking about this, like, this team this year is this is a very peppy kids team. Like, this is the type of team I draft a lot and I miss the playoffs with a lot. And last year's team was different, and I had a very good season. So, but you're right, Matt. I mean, and it's like, I listen to these fantasy football podcasts about, like, oh, go get this. I'm like, I can never do that I'm not going to fool my league mates. Like, this league is really strong when it comes to preparation and kind of knowing what's going on.
Yeah. I'll say not working nights anymore has really helped. I mean, I was out of it. I didn't give two rats. I mean, obviously, you could tell by my teams, they were awful. But yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there when we cover your team, Jen.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut in on you.
Let's move on to the 6-6, third out of 3 in the Bulldog League, a strong Bulldog League, but last place in the Bulldog League. Let me emphasize, last place in the Bulldog League, missing the playoffs. Hold me closer, tiny Dantzler, Derek Hartman. What went wrong here with Derek's team?
Hold on, Matt.
So I guess you can dare lick my balls, Capitan.
God, I've been sitting on that one all show. Oh,
I feel. I kind of wish Derek were here to defend himself, but I think there's an interesting caveat to this, in that he hit on Russ Wilson this year
early, yeah,
and he paid nothing for him,
right?
And that was basically the only thing that kept him afloat.
Well, you gotta think. Yeah, go ahead.
In Derek's own words, I'd rather slit my own throat than talk fantasy football. So to give our viewers a little bit of insight into
grow up, John.
Derek's
Jeez, you poor
headspace,
sport.
That's where Derek Hartman is this weekend. But and I think, so Russell Wilson was obviously the MVP of the season and probably the MVP of fantasy there for a little while at the beginning of the year. Certainly cooled off a little bit here in weeks when he needed to win bad. And then Jonnu Smith, you look at a guy like Jonnu Smith, who he was hitting on really well early in the season, cooled off in weeks when he needed to hit bad. And I even look at a guy like J.K. Dobbins, who everybody thought was going to end up being like a steal of the draft and this year's Mark Ingram and all that. And again, just Baltimore's offense didn't really pan out the way that we thought it would. So I don't know. He had some injury issues. He's got Josh Jacobs out, Kenny Golladay out, but yeah.
Josh Jacobs is most of the year though, and that was a tough one early on. Josh Jacobs looked like he might be RB1. I mean, he was on fire at the beginning of the year, and then he turned into this massive boomer bust. Like it was like he got 4 points or he got 30 points.
Yeah.
So you just couldn't rely on him at all. And Kenny Golladay it's been about as bad a year for Kenny Golladay as you could possibly, dream up. But
I just kind of revel that Derek is not in the playoffs, and tired of listening to how great he is, how he's so good at making the playoffs.
It is Derek's first time missing the playoffs since he joined this league. Made the playoffs every year since 2011.
Now,
that being said,
All right.
He's made the playoffs with a 6-6 record 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
So I was just
4
going to say,
times.
to that point, Matt, I was just going to say, this is the first time he's probably been in the toughest division of the league in his career in the Busch League.
Yeah, so he was around pre 12-team era. So the first couple of years when he was 6-7 and then 7-6 would have been in a league wide format. But yeah, since then for the next 5 years, yeah, he was in the junior division with Dave Picus and Dumpster Fire Drew Boat.
Yep.
So I guess
yeah, you can dare lick
I
my
guess you can
balls for
dare
being in the
lick
worst division for
balls,
the last 5 weeks. Or years.
So I guess we can
That's
say, thank you, Todd Train. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, I think that there could be. Yeah, you could paint it that way.
I would say so.
So the last team to miss playoffs here, we have the Heartbreak Kid, Tim Lang. I'll be honest, I really liked this roster all season. Ezekiel Elliott just maybe wasn't Ezekiel Elliott all year. The Cowboys offense had some struggles, but if you have a true Ezekiel Elliott and Aaron Jones, Deshaun Watson probably wasn't really what he expected Deshaun Watson to be, but why did Heartbreak Kid miss the playoffs here? 6-6, third place in the Division I, Division III league.
Well, his running backs were his strength. With Deshaun Watson is a freaking stud. If anybody says any different, like
Deshaun has came on late this year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have him in another league, and he's literally won me a couple of games. It kind of like who were we talking about? Where just his players just haven't lined up and Aaron Jones isn't scoring like Aaron Jones did last year, and Dak went out, and that's really hurt the Cowboys running game. He just hasn't. His is just I think a little bit of luck. The 1 week Zeke scores 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones only runs the ball for 80 yards rather than 80 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, it's crazy because you look at. So again, I'm looking at these position ranks, right? And so you look at Zeke is position rank 8th and Aaron Jones is position rank 7th. But is he really getting that production out of them lately?
No.
He's not. So that's on 40-point weeks from Aaron Jones in the first 3 weeks.
Yep.
And I had Aaron Jones in another league and I traded him away halfway through the season. And it's really hard to trade away.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I'm out of the playoffs in that league too. But it's hard to trade those guys away. But then, they just aren't really producing. So.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Jones missed some time, and then the biggest problem that he has, is that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it all over the place when they need to, but also Jamal Williams is a good player.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. Even since he came back from injury, Jamal Williams is getting tons of run there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting him in another league.
Yeah.
So and obviously Dak going down. I mean, I wonder what this Cowboys season would have looked like if Dak had not gone down. The first 5 weeks of their season before he got injured were ridiculous. Do you remember those games?
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
I played throwing for 400. They were getting their asses kicked by everybody, and then Dak would throw for 450 yards and get them back in the game.
Yeah. I played Todd the 3rd week of the season or the 2nd week, and he beat me by 10, and that was because Dak put up 40 fucking points, which I could have fucking killed somebody after that game.
So another thing that probably sank Langer's season here, George Kittle.
I forgot about that.
So he legitimately got 2 quality games out of George Kittle.
Yeah.
He got a week 4, 32 points and a week 6, 20 points. Otherwise, he got basically nothing out of George Kittle. And he spent $18 on that position. And in a year when to have a really strong tight end, John, you can attest to this, makes a big difference. He drafted that and then didn't get it, so that hurts him a lot.
Yeah, I forgot about that he had Kittle on the IR.
Yep. So, all right.
Let's move now.
So now I want to move into the other teams that aren't playing in the playoffs for the opposite reason this week, and those are our 2 teams that are on bye. And let's start with the old West Cannon Coyotes, led by JFT John motherfucking Thompson. John, tell me what went right for your season this year.
Tonight we play Bingville. Tonight we beat Bingville.
You got to get the inflection in the tonight. It's very important.
Well, Harper's upstairs sleeping, so I have to kind of keep her on the DL here. But next week, I'm going to put some Coyote sound bites on here. You know, like I said, cocaine's a hell of a drug. No.
Well, to that point, John, though, kudos to you. You were the what was your name last year? You were the
I flushed out my memory. Every time I suck, I change my team name. So I've changed about 8 years in a row.
Anyway, last year's team
was it Nation
pre-snap adjustment was
there we go.
3-9. You were the 12th place team in the Busch League last year.
Yeah.
Kudos to you on really turning that around. You are now on a bye in the first week of the playoffs, the West Cannon Coyotes. So yeah, what do you like about this team, John?
Well, you know, not to give away too many trade secrets, because like we said, everybody jumps on what everybody says and everybody figures stuff out. But you know, I just looking at past teams and even teams that I had won championships with, you got to have a good defense, which that's not a secret. That's not a secret at all. Everybody knows that. But you just got to have position players that are in the top tier. And luckily, I just really focused on free agency because that was kind of huge in my season. You know, we can look at my draft and you'd say, man, his running backs are awful. And just by a stroke of good luck, I hit on Kareem Hunt because Nick Chubb went out. So I had Kareem Hunt as the starting running back. And then just kind of everything just kind of fell in line with picking up Mike Davis and picking up Myles Gaskins and
Mike Davis.
Yeah. I mean, they saved my season. And then the moment of weakness was I was so desperate for a win and I regret it. And it's probably it's going to get me. I just have a feeling it's going to get me. I should have never traded Devontae Adams. But I had to do something to change my season. But
I mean, but that's a coin flip, right?
It was a coin flip.
Devontae Adams or Julio Jones.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
To be fair, the next week Julio put up a 38 spot. Yeah, you know, Devontae was hurt. So it's not like it's just
it's not like you've been hurting at wide receiver necessarily.
Right.
I mean, Thielen's really come on. Robbie Anderson, I got to tell you what. Yeah. You know, he's having DJ Moore's season, Matt.
Yes, he is. He is Teddy's favorite target. Teddy's favorite target is Robbie Anderson.
T. Higgins. If I was in a keeper league and I had T. Higgins, I'd be keeping T. Higgins. I'd tell you that too.
Mm-hmm.
It really hurt that Burrow went down. You know, I pretty much started Higgins a couple of games simply because Joe Burrow was his quarterback. Funny, had I started T. Higgins last week, I would have whooped Phil's ass up and down the street.
Oh yeah, I beat you last week.
You did.
Why did I not bring that up?
Yeah.
I got to tell you what though, John. Holy shit. I thought I had this locked up, and then the Steelers put up friggin' whatever 20.
I know. I was only down by I was only down by 0.7.
Oh man, I was like, oh my god.
Playing. And I was like, oh my god, one RG3 interception for a TD, and I'm fucking doing this. No, I mean, it's fantasy football is big of a poor sport and frustrated as I get. It's all about luck too, because I drafted the Steelers. We all didn't think they were going to be that good because I don't know. They just normally the Steelers have a lot of named players like Ryan Shazier and you know, I'm going to go way back and date myself, but like Greg Lloyd, Kevin Green, like Rod Woodson. There was really nobody besides TJ Watt.
You know, and John, kudos to you too. I mean, you got the third ranked defense in the Colts on your bench.
Yeah, I got the Colts.
And not that you need to like rotate them or anything like that, but like it just keeps them off of somebody else's team.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in our league that's really valuable. So
yeah. I've definitely stepped up my game and trying to, I don't want to say scout, but just trying to just stay up and up on who, you know, like Myles Gaskins. That was like one I was really nervous about picking up. But when I did pick him up, fucking A, was that he'd only get 10, 12 points. but I didn't need more than that really because Hunt was scoring, Thielen was scoring.
Yeah, you just fill the holes.
Well,
And Mahomes,
commissioner's note: he's no longer eligible to be on your IR, so you need to move him up. To
okay. I'll make sure he's eligible for my game this week. Oh wait.
So I guess
he is
you
back.
can dare lick
Um.
my balls, Capitan.
But let's not forget the two studs on my roster. The 1-2 punch, the thing that just literally keeps my team just motoring. It's the best quarterback in the league and the best tight end in the league. I mean, those two fuckers are just
having Travis Kelce, especially on your roster, that just makes such a big difference.
There was so many years where like this was right when tight ends spending started to go up, and I was always after Gronk, and then Grieve started going after Gronk, and then like, man, if you hit on a tight end like that,
it's so hard. Like I have such a hard time spending money on a position like that because I'm like, I need the money for these other guys. And like that's like the one area where you can save money, right? Like, oh well, there's only one guy that's going to get that position, so like I'll just save money there. But like, god damn it, it really makes a big difference on your roster every week.
It does. So, and I was in a fist fight with Trevor about 2 weeks ago, and I had Mahomes and Kelce. I think I was down like 20 or 30 points, and I had Mahomes and Kelce going on Monday night against Oakland, and I beat that motherfucker. I knocked him out like a Mike Tyson. Right hook.
So here's a question. 24 for Kelce this year. And Mahomes.
I think it was 20 something as well.
26 for Mahomes. So $50 between those two guys. Does that combo go for more next year in your estimation? 26 is the most we've spent on a quarterback. Let's see here. Ever. Boy, going back to 2015, Aaron Rodgers went for 27.
I'd say no, and here's why. We have a bunch of smart, educated guys in our league. We're not a bunch of meatheads like a few leagues that I'm in, where we get all snapped up and we start paying $50 for tight ends and stuff like that. You guys, I'm going to say you guys because I'm not a numbers guy, but you guys with finances and stuff like that, as far as like budgets, everybody's really good at it. Unless you're Tim Grieve.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think, everybody's got a limit, right? Like, I just think this league is too smart. You're not going to just mortgage your whole entire roster on, again, unless you Grieve.
Or unless Mahomes was on the Vikings.
True. Yeah. If then Adam and I would have went like $50, $60 deep. Swear to God, we would have. And maybe even Todd too. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think if it does, it's going to be like $1 or $2 more. It's not going to be astronomical.
Yeah. Thing is, though, it's just like, I mean, you hit on that combination on a good year, and like you can't be bad. You can't be bad with those two guys. Almost.
And here's the thing too is like you look at. Okay, I feel like I'm bringing up last year's team a lot too, but like I had a really good team last year with Lamar Jackson. John's got a really good team this year with Patrick Mahomes. And so you're starting to see this trend of like, even though quarterback is really deep, to have that like number one quarterback in the league does really put you at an advantage.
Yeah.
So,
and it's nice because I've struggled. Sorry, man, not to cut you off. I've struggled in the past with quarterbacks. Like I try to do like Derek and Trevor, and I try to spend $1 or $2 and try to hit on an Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, and it just hasn't worked. Yeah. So it's just nice. Like quarterback is one of those positions where it's nice. I don't have to think too hard about it, where I would rather think too hard about running backs or wide receivers, right? Because for perfect example, Matt had Hines, drops him, right? I pick him up the week after he already scored 26 points, and then he only scored 10. I'd rather do that than pick fucking Mitchell Trubisky up and not hit on him, because then you're like, well, fucking God.
Yeah. Fuck you, John.
Yeah, right? Fucking Bears.
Oh, good for you.
Well, let's move. Go ahead, Matt. Yeah, and then we'll move on to Soup.
The thing about it, though, is you have to have, if you're paying that much money for those guys for a quarterback, Lamar Jackson went for $18 this year. And that is a killer to your team to pay that much at quarterback and not get that kind of production.
Right.
You got to get the 40 touchdown, 45 touchdown type performance from the quarterback for that type of money to make sense. And if you do, then I mean I don't know. It's a bit like, like the upper 30s for a high tier running back, essentially. If you get 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, you're probably right in the hunt. If you don't, it's gonna be tough.
Well, let's move on to Soup. Okay, so Soup 10-2, first place in the Tough Bulldog League. I don't know. I gotta say, I don't know if we've given this team enough credit here this year.
I won't, because his son Easton drafted him. He didn't do shit.
Yeah, we saw him on the Zoom. This is the first year we could actually see if someone else was drafting the team, and we could see it this year. Right?
Easton's literally whispering in his ear, Dad, you should pick up Ty.
I gotta say though, I mean,
Tyreek Hill's really fast.
10-2 is a damn good season.
Except for when one of his two losses is from JMFT.
That's a good loss. That's a quality
Suck
loss.
it, Trevor.
You had a loss to the Peppy Kids last week.
Hold on.
Get a taste.
I don't know. I'm just hitting my soundbar now. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one, Phil.
Let's dance, dickweed.
That is pretty good. Okay, so what do we love? What do we like about Soup's team here, and why can he win the Busch League?
He's solid. He hit on Aaron Rodgers. He's on the Chiefs train. I mean, if Kelsey isn't scoring touchdowns, Hill is, and obviously Hill. It was kind of funny. I was out running errands on Sunday, and I just kept checking my phone because I really wanted to beat the shit out of Phil, but whatever, didn't happen. And first quarter or second quarter, Tyreek Hill, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Are you kidding me?
Insane. That was insane.
It was just like, wow, man, like that's crazy. And it's just his team is just solid, and they hit on all. That's the thing, they hit on all cylinders every week. Like there's never really ever a lull.
Yeah, he doesn't have a weak position, right? So you look at wide receiver, he's got Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin. Solid.
Could not have done much better.
Could not. I mean, DK Metcalf. What did he draft DK Metcalf for? Let's see here. He drafted DK Metcalf for $6. So he's got the number 1 and the number 3 wide receiver in the league. And then you look at Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this is what we're talking about. That's what I'm trying to do with Matt Ryan this year. I've got the 13th ranked quarterback. He's got the 4th ranked quarterback. So, he really hit on that. Yep. He drafted Aaron Rodgers for $4.
Yep.
And then you look at his running backs. I mean, so you could argue that he missed on Kenyon Drake because Drake really sucked the first half of the season.
Yeah.
But he's really come on lately.
He did miss by a bunch.
Yeah. And then Raheem Mostert, he's the only reason he's not had a great season because he's been hurt. Mm-hmm. And now he's back. And this is a good team. He doesn't have a lot of holes.
Rodgers with 33 touchdowns projected for 48 on the season. Wow.
I just want to bring one thing up too. Last year, I specifically remember this. I nominated DK Metcalf for $1, thinking everybody was gonna at least.
I do remember this,
and nobody. And all of a sudden, I'm like, "Well, I have DK Metcalf for $1."
I think I commented in the thing like, "Who?"
Yeah,
because like he went higher in our Busch League draft than he went in the NFL draft or something like that.
Yeah.
So
it was just like, and then he didn't really do anything last year. He had a bad freshman year, and then no sophomore slump for that guy. I mean, he's really come on.
Yeah. So Trevor's only had 2 weeks where he scored less than 100 points this year, both of which were wins, actually. Just a real solid team. I mean, I don't know, Matt, you can talk to this a little bit more, but I don't know that it's a historically good team, but it's just extremely solid in a year where there's not a historically good team.
Yeah, I mean, so he doesn't have any of the there's nothing on his roster that's knock your socks off. I mean, Aaron Rodgers for 33 touchdowns through the season is pretty darn good. But he doesn't have, usually those really good teams have somebody that is doing something. It's Todd Gurley in his first couple seasons, or somebody like that who scored a running back who's scoring 20 touchdowns. So
speaking
he
of which,
doesn't
Matt,
have that, but especially in a matchup game, I mean, he's just so solid that he definitely has the firepower to put up 140. And if you're hoping to squeak by with 100 points against that roster, I mean, it could happen, but it's not real likely.
just looking to see if he even ever scored under 100 this year.
Twice. Yeah.
Twice he did? Okay.
Yep. But he won both of those.
Of course he did.
So, yep, just this is a weekly game, and so he's got those guys that are going to put up weekly points, and maybe he's not going to get the guy that gets 45 points in a week, but he's getting the guy that gets 18 to 20 every time. Mm-hmm. So,
yep.
That's a really solid roster soup, and kudos for him for winning a really tough division there.
And there was like this outside chance that Todd could, if he won by like 100 points or something, something stupid like that. Well, Trevor put an end to that real quick by putting up 165.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And again, on the Tyreek Hill 35-point first quarter. So
yeah.
All right, so now we're going to switch over to the matchups for the week. So we're just going to talk about the 2 playoff matchups.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Playoffs?
You kidding me? Playoffs? I just
so let's stay there. Let's stay there with the program. Todd Train is 8-4. He was second place in the Tough Bulldog League, taking on Team Aponte, most original team name in the league. Team Aponte, 6-6. Max's team. What's the outlook here on this matchup? Win probability is 52% towards the program.
Todd's got an issue at quarterback right now because it sounds like Roethlisberger might not play.
What happened there? I guess I don't even know.
He's questionable, I think, and I don't know what the injury is. Yeah, he has not practiced, is I believe what I heard this week. His only other quarterback on his roster is Ryan Fitzpatrick, who may or may not play as well because I don't think
I thought Tua was going to start again.
I don't know that they've said either way. On ESPN, Fitzpatrick is not projected for any points.
Okay.
So right now he's got a pretty sizable issue at quarterback. On the other side of things, Max was way more dangerous when Drew Brees was healthy because Alvin Kamara was one of the top running backs in the league. With this new style that they're playing with Taysom Hill, it has just absolutely killed Kamara's value.
Yeah.
I mean, Latavius Murray is a completely legitimate starter in fantasy right now.
Great.
Because they're just playing a completely different style. And so, yeah, without the firepower in Kamara, compared to, well, Todd kind of hinges on Dalvin Cook in a lot of ways, but Gibson's been solid. Michael Thomas also kind of in that same boat, I guess. But I mean, I think Todd's team is better. He's got to shore up the quarterback position. Sometimes I feel like I do nothing but constantly shit on Max in these leagues, and all he does is just beat my ass every year. but I probably am taking Todd in this one.
Yeah. I think I got to take Todd too. It's just Diggsy and Brown are so hit or miss right now. Josh Allen was really lighting it up with Diggsy there for a while, and now it's just they're playing a different game, it almost seems like. James White, that I have Damian Harris. You just never know with the Patriots running back right now. You just never know. And, yeah, I think Kamara and Thomas are going to struggle. And I just think with Antonio Gibson and Dalvin Cook, I think Todd just squeaks her out a little bit.
Yeah, well, and look at it this way. So we're talking about Todd's issue is at quarterback. Okay, but Max is starting Kirk Cousins at quarterback. And I know Kirk has had like a couple of pretty good weeks here, and he's got a decent matchup here against the Jaguars. But like Cousins could put up 12 points at quarterback here too. So
don't be an anti-Kirk fuck. Just like Matt's an anti-flex.
I'm just saying. I mean, but Max is starting really a waiver wire quarterback too. So we're, so then if you take quarterback out of it, because both of them are going to be starting waiver wire quarterbacks, I believe in Dalvin Cook. It's too bad that Tyler Boyd is without Burrow, and that Michael Thomas is without Drew Brees.
I'm just gonna say this, Kirk.
Yeah, man, I
for
might
the
be
month
talking
of
myself into
November
Max here, but
Kirk for the month of November had 11 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, he could have been the MVP of the league in November there.
Yep.
Well, if aside maybe from Dalvin though. So
Yep. But yep.
Man, I don't know. I just may have talked myself out of Todd. But
and this week is a tough week too. He's missing Swift. Swift's been really, really good.
Yep. You know what? Give me Tima Ponte.
All right.
I think this is a good week for James White. I'm starting him in another league.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman's been trending the right way, although he had 3 points last week, so maybe not.
All right, Max. Mandy needs to walk in the room, and she needs to go.
Hey, what you gonna do, Macho Man?
I don't know. That's a tough one for me. Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough
all right. Moving on.
Let's move on. Let's move on. This is the marquee matchup. Just drew it 6-6, second in the D1 D3 league. Heart Attack 6-6, first in the D1 D3 league.
God, that's one thing. If we don't get in trouble, I need to add the Imperial March for when we talk about Adam.
We should. Yeah.
Just a little, because how many seconds can we have of it, Matt? It's like 15.
15, I think.
Yeah,
that's plenty.
Yeah, all I need is just that opening spot because the Evil Empire somehow dicked his way into the playoffs. I'm not even sure how he did it.
So somebody tell me why Drew is going to beat Hartman this week.
I think Drew's team is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Extremely dangerous.
Hold on, Matt.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
I got to say, I agree with you 100%. Eckler's back, James Robinson, Kyler Murray. This is a damn good team. Deontay Johnson has come on real strong lately.
He does have David Montgomery in the lineup instead of Chris Carson. Don't know how I feel. I don't know what the matchup is. Detroit or the Giants for Seattle.
Giants defense is decent.
Yeah. And he also lost Will Fuller. That's a big hit.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, but you could take a 0 from Will Fuller any week anyway.
I mean, he's actually better off. Not to give him advice because, he's gotten this far compared to other years, but he could actually start Claypool and probably Johnson.
God dang, I was just going to say, his bench is pretty damn good.
Yeah, he could probably do that, and he'd be just fine.
He's got legit starters on his bench, really, and Brady, Carson, Claypool. Yeah.
Yep.
I like Drew's team a lot. I have thought.
Oh, good for you.
I haven't loved Hartman's team from the beginning this year, and he won his division. So, and I loved my team from the beginning, and I got second in my division and missed the playoffs. So, I'm no expert here, but I do really actually like Drew's roster quite a bit.
Well, I'm gonna hope that Drew wins. He's got everything pointing his way. Let's just hope the Evil Empire goes down because we all know when Adam gets hot, he gets hot and he rolls, and he's usually at least in the semifinals, which I do not want to see. So I've already beat him once this year. I do not want to see him again. So I'm going to root for Drew. So
and one other thing that Hartman has going for him, the next 3 weeks, Derrick Henry plays Cleveland, a little bit of a tough matchup this week, then Jacksonville and Detroit. So
all right. Awesome. So basically, you just got to hope to God that all his other guys suck.
I think he's gonna live or die with Derrick Henry. Is my prediction.
Yep.
Here's a big thing for Drew. I think a lot might ride on that Ben Roethlisberger thing, right? He's got Deontay Johnson, or Claypool, and Eric Ebron as his tight end. So, who's their backup? It's not Duck Hodges. They got somebody else.
It's
ahead
Mason
of him.
Rudolph, I think.
Mason Rudolph,
still.
right? I mean,
Yep.
he's capable, but there again, it's not. Big
not
Ben
Big
might
Ben.
be the comeback player of the year. So
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So I'm going Drew on this one.
Yep. And
managerial.
That sucked.
Probably, I would say probably GM of the year or manager of the year this year. It's probably a toss-up between John and Drew.
I was just gonna say kudos. I gave kudos to John last year for turning around a 3-9
Thank
season.
you.
Just drew it last year was 3-9 as well, 10th place. Turned it around, had a nice season this year. So
Got a
good
huge
on him. I
pickup.
think, yeah.
Huge pickup with Robinson.
Yeah, I missed on that one.
Massive trade to get Kyler Murray. I mean, that team is not nearly as dangerous as what it looks like without Kyler Murray.
Full disclosure, that first week when I think 3 running backs got picked up, I missed on Robinson by $1.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I would have hit, and it wasn't because I don't think Drew paid a ton. Can you imagine if I would have landed on Robinson and Davis?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, what did he pick up Robinson
It
for?
wasn't. It
I
wasn't
did
a
not
ton.
think Robinson was gonna. It was $5.
Yeah,
Yes.
I missed on a
God
buck. I
damn
bid
it.
4.
I was like, this is like a flash in the pan, like 1 week thing. I was
Yep.
not on the Robinson thing.
Yep.
God damn.
And
it.
it's amazing that they're so bad. They're so bad, and he's still like is such a. You just don't see running backs like that just freaking pound the ball up the middle, be that productive on bad teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. His name was Adrian Peterson.
But what is Jacksonville? They got 1 win, 2 maybe.
2, I think.
So
I'm not.
all right, guys.
First
Well,
off, I
any
don't want to be.
other,
I don't want to be nominated for preposterous statement. I'm not saying James Robinson is Adrian Peterson by any means.
I don't know if this. I don't know if the podcast qualifies for Common's preposterous statement.
One day it might, but I just don't want it ever get brought up
I
again.
think maybe our 15 viewers a week doesn't necessarily qualify. but-
True.
Well, guys, any closing thoughts here on week 1 of the playoffs? I will say I did put a league managers poll on the league page. Who wins the Busch League title of the 6 that are in the running? So if you're listening, go ahead and vote on who you think has the best shot of winning this year. Any closing thoughts there, Matt?
Man, probably my favorites. I think the top 2 seeds are probably best by a pretty good margin, and I think Drew's the wild card probably. Harbin obviously has got some firepower with a couple of his guys and can get hot. I mean, any of these guys I think can win it. But it's probably gonna come down to matchups, and I like either Drew, John, or Trevor. I don't know. I guess I'm if I had to bet on it, it'd probably be Mahomes and Kelsey.
Thank you.
John, what about you? You got any closing thoughts here for the playoffs?
I just hope I can get back into the finals again. It'd be nice to get number 3, and hopefully football gods are looking down on me, and they bless me with a 3rd one. And
Trevor and John, both looking for their 3rd titles, would tie
I'd
them
like to
for most.
I'd like to join that elite group because I think only
Tim
Lang
Lang
and Adam Hartman have it. So I'd like to get in that group. I've been down and out for quite some time, and it's nice to be relevant again. And I'm gonna try not to. Even if it doesn't go my way, I'm gonna try not to make life miserable for my wife and child. I'm gonna try to be a good sport, but who knows? Maybe if you see a house burning down in Painesville, it might be mine. Who knows? So,
well, I just hope everybody has fun. And I will say, Trevor, we haven't given you enough credit on this podcast this year.
No,
Really
definitely
nice,
not.
really nice season. I'm going to take Trevor if I'm casting my vote. He's just, 2 losses all year.
it doesn't matter what you think, Bill.
Hey, that's got to be some old Carroll House love, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hopping on for a special Saturday edition of the Talking Busch podcast. Good luck to everybody in their matchups this week. Continue to set your lineups, even if you're not in the playoffs, just to play it out for history's sake. But All right.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Listen, kind of like I do with you. See ya.